Hey everyone, I just wanted to walk you through this presentation for Google Arts and Culture. Um, when you're looking at it, we do have 3 sessions that you're going to complete virtually on your own pace. And so basically in the beginning, you're going to have an overview of what Google Arts and Culture is. And I'm going to have in this presentation a step-by-step how-to about different approaches to exploring the content and what you could do in your classroom. But mostly, like this first session, time allotment is for you to explore all of the possibilities that Google Arts and Culture really has. So, um, first thing I did was I just searched ancient Rome since I teach Latin, and I got 20 places, 43 collections, 275 stories, all different things that I could look for to do. So on this slide, you have a bunch of different links. They're also going to be linked directly in the Stuff for Teachers section on Google Classroom. The Teacher's Guide and the Quick Start Guide are really good for any question that you might have. The Quick Start Guide is kind of ironic in that it's 52 pages, but they have ready to use handouts, templates if you wanted to do a virtual field trip, or if you wanted students to research a certain topic. They have generic kind of handouts that you can take and modify so you don't have to reinvent the wheel. There are lots of things that you can do with Google Arts and Culture that's not just a humanities-based thing. So they have like a quick little video of like a virtual reality style of a dinosaur. They have stuff on biodiversity. There are all sorts of museums, not just art museums. You could look at inventors or people. They have different collections about noteworthy people, um, food chain, food climate, and engineering, different applications of math, things like that. So as you're going through, step by step of like what you want to do, the first time you find something that you are looking to kind of keep, you just favorite it by selecting the heart. And every time you do things the first time, it gives you a badge. So you can collect the badges if you want. And at any point when you're in your Google Arts and Culture stuff, there's a favorite tab, and you can just click there, and anything that you have saved will populate there, so you can always find it without researching. Um, in terms of sharing content with Google Classroom, it's really easy. They have a share button, and you can just click that and select whatever Google Classroom you want. You could also use the link button if you wanted. It just depends on what you're going to do. Some of the exhibits have like the little yellow person, which means that you can walk around. So if you go into that museum, you literally can move your cursor, or if you're on a laptop or a cell phone, you can move your device, and it's like you're moving your head. You can click on an object and it'll bring you closer to it. So if you wanted to see something as if you were walking closer to that statue or something, you could do that. So the same thing is kind of like Street View and virtual tours. You can look all around the museum. The zoom is really awesome. It does not distort the image quality at all. And so you can either, show it in class, or you can have students do it at their own pace, whether it's in class or outside of class. And obviously you can make any sort of like content check that you want. I tend to do things on formative just because it's easy, but you could use a, handout, a worksheet, a Google form, anything that you're into, Flipgrid even. What we would want is for you to click that file and for you to add your own slide, just kind of saying something that you would like to try with your students once, of course, you've had a chance to look it through and see what your options are. Then, like once you get through that beginning piece, technically session 2 would be you creating something to do with your students. So, you know, different applications of Google Arts and Culture and making your check, that would be your second sort of session, that time for you to work. You can do it any way you want. You can even treat formative like Edpuzzle. I don't know if everyone's aware of that. So the district has paid for formative for all of our high schools, or at least High School East. Whereas I don't know that we're going to have Edpuzzle for that much longer, but middle schools may. So here's just like a little example of what I did with, you can record a video directly in formative and insert questions. So if you wanted to be walking them through the website, whatever Google Arts and Culture activity, you could stop them at certain points and ask a question or share content or have them do something like that. And then, so like once you've created your lesson, session 3 is really just time to share. So session 3, that's why we have questions in the classroom for you to, like, what are you planning on doing? We want you to share that activity. And your final assignment, where you're posting actually the lesson that you create, is not an assignment specifically, because then no one other student could see it. We're asking you to upload your content to another question so that anyone can see and get inspiration and, give you kudos for using Google Arts and Culture. And then, of course, there's the course evaluation. So you can just tell us what you liked or didn't like about this workshop. So I hope you enjoy it and get some really good ideas and have some fun in your classroom. Thanks.